When you think of a chimney, what comes to mind? Probably just a simple brick stack on a roof, right? Its only job is to let smoke out. But what if that was just the beginning? Today, we're diving into a system that completely flips that idea on its head. Let's get into it. Yeah, what if your chimney could do so much more? What if, instead of just letting all that valuable heat escape into the sky, it could capture it and become the energy-producing heart of your entire home? Well, that's the whole idea behind the TechRox G2 heat trapping system.
All right, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with how this whole thing was reimagined. Then we'll look at its awesome modular core. We'll explore how it handles heat, water, and power, how it actually cleans its own smoke, and finally, how this whole concept can scale up to help an entire community.
So, how in the world do you take something as basic as a chimney and turn it into a high-tech energy system? Well, it all starts with just looking at the problem in a completely new way.
And this is where it all began. Look at this first sketch. You see the fire on the left, right? But instead of the smoke just shooting straight up and out, it's being rerouted through these copper tubes. The idea was so simple, but honestly, it was revolutionary. Just don't waste the heat. Capture it. And from that simple sketch, we get this. Wow, it's an incredible evolution. We're talking a complete schematic, with different modules for fuel, for waste management, for water heating. You can see a path for smoke heat, another one for hot water, and even a design to share that energy with your neighbor. It's just a massive leap forward.
So how does that complex system we just saw actually work without being a total headache? Well, the secret is its flexibility. This isn't some one-size-fits-all appliance. It's more like a platform.
Yeah, check out this diagram. The best way to think about it is that you can use different heat sources like they're interchangeable cartridges. Maybe you want a super efficient rocket stove that burns less wood, or maybe you've got a traditional oil stove. You can just plug that module right into the main system. It makes it unbelievably adaptable.
And the options are just fantastic. You've got your main heat sources, sure, but then there are all these other modules for storing fuel, handling waste, heating water, and even one that generates its own electricity. It's designed to be a totally complete, self-contained ecosystem for your home's energy.
Okay, so the system has captured all this heat. The next logical question is, what does it do with it? This is where the engineering gets really, really clever.
It uses what they call a dual pathway. So as the hot smoke travels up, it radiates heat through coils inside the walls, which warms up the upper levels of the house. At the same time, that heat warms up a completely separate loop of water. That hot water then gets pumped down to give you that amazing, silent underfloor heating. It's just a super smart way to distribute energy right where you need it.
And hey, remember that thermoelectric module? This thing is an absolute game changer. Basically, it works a lot like a solar panel, but for heat. When one side of the material gets really hot from the fire and the other side stays cooler, that temperature difference creates a flow of electricity. It literally turns waste heat directly into power. How cool is that?
So what does this actually mean in the real world? It means the system isn't just a heater, it's your own little power plant. If you're living off-grid, or maybe the power goes out in a big storm, this module could generate enough juice to run lights, charge your phone, or even power critical medical devices, all from the same fire that's already keeping you warm.
Now, creating all this energy is fantastic, but what about the smoke? What about the pollution? Well, the system has an answer for that too. It has a whole module dedicated to cleaning up its own exhaust.
Okay, let's take a peek inside this smoke scrubber. You can see the dirty smoke comes in from the bottom, and right away it hits this series of plates and a water spray system. This is where the magic starts to happen.
Here's the play-by-play. First, a fine mist of water makes all the soot and dust particles in the smoke heavy. Then, those heavy, wet particles pass by these static electricity plates, which basically act like magnets and just pull them right out of the air. All that gunk collects in a simple tray you can wash out, and what comes out the top is much, much cleaner air.
So far, we've been talking about how this system can work for a single home, but the vision for this technology is actually way bigger than that. It's designed to be shared.
And this diagram shows you exactly how. You can build the entire G2 system right into the common wall between two semi-detached houses. That means one central heating system can efficiently provide heat and hot water for two different families. You're basically cutting the installation and fuel costs in half for each home.
And that is a huge shift in thinking, right? It's no longer just a personal appliance. It becomes a piece of shared, sustainable infrastructure, a tiny, decentralized power and heat utility that can help build more resilient communities. So, to wrap it all up, let's just put them side by side. The traditional chimney, it has one job, wastes most of the energy, and pollutes the air. The TechRox G2 system, it heats your walls, your floors, it makes electricity, it filters its own smoke, it's modular, and it can even heat the house next door. It's just a whole new ballgame.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? We spend so much time looking for the next big, flashy thing in technology. But maybe, just maybe, some of the keys to a more sustainable future have been right there in our homes the whole time, just hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to reimagine them.